Alright, today we're going to walk through the starting with Extrusions and Autodesk Inventor video. For the first thing, you're going to obviously have to open up Inventor, and we're going to want to start with a new part file, which is the one on the far left here. So that's going to open us up to a blank document. Basically, we can do whatever we want with it. We're going to start with a new 2D sketch. And it'll bring up these existing planes. You have your XY plane, you have your YZ plane, and your XZ plane. I usually start on the XY plane. That means you have a width and a height dimension. And when you click on it, you'll enter this 2D sketch mode. You'll see this kind of crosshairs. Imagine it like a graph. You have your different quadrants in a graph. We're going to start out with a line command. You can either do this with a line command or a rectangle tool. I like to use the line command for all my shapes as much as possible. So I'm just going to click the line command and I'm going to start. You'll notice my crosshair turns green when I'm right over the dot in the center of these crosshairs here. I'm going to click here to start, and you'll notice that dragging around you can drag out a line. If you notice, there's this box that's hovering above my line no matter where I go. You can type in a value there. We want to create a 3x3 square, so I'm just going to type 3 on my keyboard and hit enter. And the program's automatically going to make a 3-inch line segment. And it assumes that we're going to continue making a shape with this. So I can just go ahead and now start going up with my line. Enter 3 one more time, hit enter, and now I have a line going vertical that is 3 inches. I'll come back another 3, and then finally I can just click once I see the little green circle at the start point. Now I have a 3x3 square on my screen. I'm going to hit finish sketch, and we see our square. It just zooms out to an isometric angle. We're going to turn the square into a cube with this extrude tool right here. Go ahead and click that. It might pop up for you looking like this on the little menu that pops up. Just click the down arrow and it'll expand. Autodesk sees that there's only one shape on the screen, so it knows what we're trying to extrude. We want to just switch the distance here to 3. You can either type in the IN or it automatically defaults to inches, and hit OK. And now we have a cube here. Next we're going to create another 2D sketch on one of the faces. Anyone will do. And we want to create a circle right in the middle of this drawing. The first thing I always suggest doing is we have a 3D shape here, but there's no lines around it. To get those lines, you can click the Project Geometry tool and just hover over this face and you'll see it wants to highlight it. And when you click, notice it puts yellow lines all the way around. It basically just drew a 2D sketch of the outside of that cube. The other cool thing, we're going to make a circle like I said, so click on the circle command. The other cool thing is Autodesk does a little bit of work for you. You'll notice right where I'm sitting right now there's a dotted line coming out from the uppermost line on this cube. And that lets me know that I'm exactly in the center of this line segment here. So I am right in the center of that line segment. If I go down a little bit more, eventually I'm going to see another line coming out from the left line segment, letting me know that I'm in the center of that line segment. So if I wanted to place a circle right in the middle of our cube, once I see those 2 dotted lines show up, I know I'm directly in the center of our cube. I'm going to click and start just moving my mouse outward. And I want to just type in 1.5 because I want my diameter, or the distance across the circle, to be 1.5 inches. And finally I can finish sketch once again. And we're going to go back up to extrude. When we hit it, this time it doesn't automatically select our shape for us. It wants us to tell it what we want to extrude. Is it this outside portion or the inside portion? What? So we are going to extrude the circle itself, so click that. But rather than extruding adding material outward, we're going to extrude inward and through the shape. We have to do that by clicking this cut command. There's these series of 3 buttons here. The middle one is cut. You'll notice that the preview shows it now is going to make a shape through the original cube. Make sure your distance is set to 3 inches and click OK. And what you should end up with is a nice cube that has a hole going through the center of it. Okay. The final thing we're going to instruct on is we're going to create one last 2D sketch and choose one of those other sides of the box adjacent to the hole. So it can be any one of these 4 that don't have anything on it. What we're going to do is once again project geometry so we can get those lines around the outside of the cube. And you are going to now draw a square in the middle of the cube. I want you to pause, try it yourself before just doing it the way that I do it. It makes a little bit more sense if you can do it on your own. Okay. So if you've hopefully already tried it, coming back to the video, I'm going to start just a line segment. Once again, directly in the center of that square. I see the 2 dotted lines coming up, so that lets me know that I'm directly in the center. I want to create a 1 by 1 cube, and here's how I do it. I'm going to come out from that center point 1/2 inch, and I'm going to go down 1/2 inch as well. Alright, now I should be at this location at the lower left-hand corner of the square I want to draw. So I'm just going to draw 1 over to the right, 1 up, 1 over to the left. And before I finish this, I'm just going to delete those first 2 lines. They're really unnecessary. And then finish off with a line connecting both those left-hand sides. Alright, now you have a 1 by 1 cube directly in the center of your object. There's easier ways. You'll find your own things that kind of get you through Autodesk Inventor. I like using the line tool, always been very comfortable with it, and that's why I do it the way I do. Then we're going to finish the sketch, and we're going to extrude once more. Click inside the square, and this one we don't want to extrude 3 inches. We're just going to extrude this one 1 inch. So you should have now a hole going through your square and a small cube jetting out of the top. The last thing you're going to do is take any one of the remaining blank faces, such as this one here, and you're going to create a sketch on it. Whoops, I accidentally did something I wasn't supposed to. Create a sketch on it. Once again, you're going to want to start out with project geometry. It doesn't matter what kind of object you put on this, but you have to extrude a shape out of this face, and you have to figure out how to get it exactly centered in the middle of the shape. One cool thing to use, this drop down below rectangle does have the polygon tool. That gives you different options. You can type in the number of sides right here. So if you want a hexagon, you could make a hexagon. If you wanted, say, a triangle, you could type in how many sides does a triangle have? 3. So we're going to type in 3. And then when you click and start just moving your mouse away, you'll notice that you have a triangle coming out. So any shape you want to do, but you need to get it centered on that face and extruded, either a cut or an addition extrude. Either way works. Alright, good luck. Ask for any help, and make sure and try to challenge yourself with this.